Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Iyun. Today we're analyzing Maseches Challah Perek Gimel Mishnah Daled. I want to build on what I said about yesterday's shir about Challah, that when it becomes Sof Lisha at the end of the kneading process, it becomes Chayiv and Challah, meaning it becomes Mamon Kohen. The whole thing becomes Mamon Kohen. It's Challah on it, Challah. It's Challah. It rests the status of now of Challah. And you have to be mafresh. Whatever you take off now becomes Challah. The rest becomes Chulin. However, Trumas and Maestros, right, and we mentioned in Mishnah Aleph in this parak that if you took off the Challah even after you started kneading it, but it wasn't Nigmara, the Lisha, where it's sticking to each other, the dough is not fully kneaded. So therefore, it doesn't work to pater the remaining, if there's still 5/4 of a kav of flour left, it doesn't pater it. The hafresh challah you did when it wasn't fully kneaded does not pater because it's ineffective. It didn't even start at that point. However, this is opposed to Trumas and Maestros. We learned Trumas and Maestros, Psachas Maestros, that there's two stages. There's Onus and Maestros, where it ripens on the tree, even before you pluck it off the tree. There's different stages for different fruits and vegetables. Then you could snack from it. However, it's not considered tevel yet. It's considered tevel when the Gemar Malacha happens. Even when you do the Gemar Malacha, though, it's still your money, right? It's still your money. When you take up Trumas Maestros, then it becomes Mamon Kohen. So there's really three stages. Onus on Maestros, where you could, it's not really, but you could, if you were Mafresh Trumas Maestros, it would be Chal, right? Then there's Gemar Malacha, where it becomes tevel, where the lav if you eat it, but it's not Truma. I wouldn't say it's Truma. And then when you're called something Truma, then it's Truma, and it's called Mamon Kohen at that point. As opposed to Challah, and this is really what the Mishnah Dalet is highlighting here. It repeats, it says, right? If you're makdish them before Onus HaMaisos, and you redeem it, it's still Chayiv in Trumas HaMaisos. Even after Onus HaMaisos, it's still not Trumas HaMaisos. Badon, redeem a Chayavin, it's Chayiv in Trumas HaMaisos, because the real Chayiv of Trumas HaMaisos happens when the Nigmar Malachto. When it's Nigmar Malachto, then it becomes Chayiv in Trumas HaMaisos. The difference is that by Challah versus Trumas HaMaisos, the reason Challah has one stage and Trumas HaMaisos really have three stages is because the mitzvah of Trumas HaMaisos is basically a tax. I mean, that's basically what it is. It's a tax. It's your money. Trumas HaMaisos is your fruits, your produce. These are not the best of your fruits. We're not talking about bikurim. We're not talking about Challah, right? You're kneading your dough, honorary bread. We're talking about important things, Bechor Adam, Bechor Behema. We're talking about your income. This is your produce. So your produce is a tax. Trumas are a tax. So it's all your money, right? You have to take off a tax. So Onus HaMaestros, you could set it aside, right? You can set aside Trumas HaMaestros. If you're a Mafresh Trumas HaMaestros, it would be Chal. But it's not really Chayiv in Trumas HaMaestros yet. Then when you're Nigmar Malachto, there's an actual real Chiyuv, Mamonis, not just a mitzvah, there's Mamonis, a chiyuv l'chadchila to be mafresh Trumas and Maestros. However, right, and then only once you're declared as truma, then it's chayiv misav d'shamayim. It's considered mamon kohen. It's only misav d'shamayim when you take the one of kohen. It really belongs to Hashem. That's why you're chayiv misav d'shamayim, because the kohanim are shluchei d'rachmanan. And however, when it comes to challah, that's not the case. Challah is honorary bread. It's only taken off honorary bread. It's like bikurim. That's really what challah is like. So therefore, when you need the dough, the requisite amount of dough to be chayiv in challah, once it reaches its potential, it's needed now. You can form it, you can bake it. So it's chayiv and challah. The whole thing comes mamon kohen. It's like mamon Hashem, right? When a firstborn person or firstborn behema or your bikurim ripen, it already belongs to Hashem. That belongs to Hashem already. You have to redeem it, right? When you go a bechor pidyon aben, you have to redeem it. It belongs to Hashem. The kohen is the agent of Hashem. You're redeeming your firstborn from Hashem. Hashem owns that baby. He owns your firstborn animal. Here he owns the bikurim. Through the Kohen, he owns it. And that's what challah is. He owns your whole isa when it's the requisite amount for an honorary bread. And then you have to mafresh the challah and you take it off. So that's the difference. That's why Trumas HaMaestros have three different stages, because really it always belonged to you. It's just, okay, when you Onus HaMaestros ripens, okay, you don't have to take a Trumas HaMaestros. Now, if you took it off, b'diavad, it would be chal. And there's a time when you're chayav to take off Trumas. It's an obligation of me to take off taxes. And then when I actually do mafresh Trumas, then it gets kedushas mamon kohen of Hashem. It's kedushas mamon of the kohen. I'm sustaining the Kohanim. It's not really, the Kohanim really aren't acting as shluchim of Hashem. It's really the Kohanim's support system. That's how they get their income from you. By choice, they're not acting as shluchim of Hashem. They're acting as just, they're getting the tax. They're getting welfare. They're getting their needs taken care of by the tax system. That's really, that's the fundamental difference between Trumas and Maisis and Challah. Challah really is like Bikurim. It belongs to God. Kohanim are the agent of God. And Truma really is a tax on your property. It always belonged to you. Only when you actually designate it as Truma, then it becomes Mammon Kohen, and then you're Chayiv Misa B'dei Shemayim. Even though both Challah and Truma are Chayiv Misa B'dei Shemayim, there's very different halachas about them, as I explained. Hope you enjoyed today's shir. I think it was very informative. See you in the next one.